I'm Lucy Lowenthal, and I began coming here as a young child when my family moved here, and from 1960 from New York City. So we all came in here. We lived down in Virginia, so it was kind of a haul, but we came in here, and my parents were very involved with many aspects of the cathedral and the different organizations that were created to raise money for the building, etc. I'm the oldest of six, and three of my brothers went to St. Albans School. So during that time, we were coming in here quite a lot. I did not go here to high school, but after college, I began coming here more often to programs. And it was when the labyrinths were first laid out in the cathedral. And there was a whole day, a sacred workshop, and I was here with my mother, and it was a very spiritual experience. Through being here, I got to know different people from the Shalem Institute that ultimately, a lot of those people helped do the Center for Pilgrimage and Prayer. So I went on a bunch of pilgrimages with them to the Holy Land. And at that time we met down in the basement. The other thing I would say is, this is a real highlight, is my husband and I both went to Potomac School in McLean, Virginia. And we performed in Noah's, it was called Noah's Fluda. It's a Benjamin Britten performance when I was in like 8th grade. And the Potomac School was down in the cathedral. It was really fantastic. It was the whole opera with all the children. And so fast forward, Peter and I didn't get married till later, till I was mid-30s, but he's Jewish and I was raised Episcopalian. So when we got engaged, we came to John Walker, who was a family friend, and he agreed to marry us here in the cathedral. It was very hard to find places to do interfaith weddings in the end of the 80s. So we went and found Rabbi White over at Georgetown University, and we had a pretty big wedding here. The wedding was much larger than we would have because we had so much space. So it was a fantastic wedding, and I think people still remember it. And we had the reception out in Virginia. So since then, I've been pretty committed to coming here. We actually go, I would add also 3 of my siblings also got married here. So we had a lot of weddings. Now I just come here. I actually go for my church, out at Cedar Lane Unitarian Church, but I come here to get my spiritual brain food, actually, and come here for major services. And I take some of the seminars here and get involved. I also went to seminary on top of other things I was doing. I had a business background. Went to seminary in 2015 at Wesley Seminary, and we actually had our graduation here in the cathedral. So it's kind of appropriate to be back here marching down the aisle in a robe. But anyway, it's very much part of the fabric of my life.
My name is Susanna Quinn. My maiden name was Susanna Monroney, and my grandfather was on the chapter of the cathedral, and my grandparents lived a few blocks away. And so as a child, we would walk the dogs up here and through the Bishop's Garden, and my grandmother volunteered every Friday at the cathedral for almost her entire adult life. And my father went to St. Albans, class of 1945. My mother went to NCS, class of 1950. I went to NCS, class of 19... And the cathedral, the close, has always been a home to me, you know, as I've gone through different phases of my life. And the Bishop's Garden, my parents are buried over in the St. Albans Victory Garden, and my husband is in the All Souls Garden. And you go through different chapters in your life and you move different places, but for me, the cathedral has always been my home. When I'm not at the cathedral, the cathedral tells the story of our country, the stained glass windows and the tapestries and the carvings. And so very often I just speak about the cathedral as a place that you can visit, not just for worship, but to really see the history of our country told through all of this art. I had stage 4 ovarian cancer, and I was given a few months to live 6 years ago. And I was told my cancer was inoperable, and prayer led me to a surgeon who was able to remove all of my cancer. And I went through about 18 surgeries and 6 rounds of chemo. And here I am, cancer-free, with a precious son at St. Albans. So, but the cathedral was very important to my husband and me. It was, really a place where we would come on holidays to the services, and it was where he wanted his final resting place to be. So,
my name is Susan Crawford, and I started to come back to the cathedral right before the pandemic. And I really missed it during the pandemic, and I was so glad when it opened again. I'm here every week, sitting in a nest of friends. It's wonderful. I think I was 10 years old. I came with my sister, and it's really changed. Back then it was kind of a museum, but now it's a live home. It's wonderful. Oh, I watch videos, every video I can find about it. And I love to watch people's faces, the way they kind of bloom on the screen because they're here. I try to learn a lot from the videos. I joined the Founders Society last year, and I love to hang out with people here.
I come from outside the Beltway, so it's about a 40-minute drive on Sunday morning, but it's worth it. I probably passed 25 Episcopal churches on the way. I'm a retired church musician, and as such, I really didn't get much chance to worship when I was busy figuring out what the next page of music was going to be. So coming here, I really can worship. And I would have to say that I need all the help I can get. And the cathedral does everything so beautifully. Everything, from the way the acolytes come lead the procession, to the people who read the scripture, to all the music, the preaching, just everything is excellent. So there's no distraction by my critical mind. And I greatly value the diversity of the congregation, the diversity of the staff. It just amazes me. There are lots of young people in the congregation on Sunday, and families. How do families get a 6-year-old to sit still during the long service? I mean, it amazes me, and I'm just thrilled to be part of it. YouTube is how I stay connected otherwise. I watch morning prayer every day. I'm an early riser, so I get the morning prayer first thing. And so that's great too. And during Lent, they're also doing it on Saturday and Sunday. During the rest of the year, they don't. But so I appreciate that. Well, and again, it's beautifully done. I mean, they're just real experts. They're experts at everything. And people well-trained and people committed. The cameraman just does a fabulous job on Sunday mornings. When I can't come, I'm just really, really proud to be part of this congregation.